I dreamt I was eating at a table with 12 men who had no faces, and the meat on the plate was my own right hand. And I woke up with my hand completely numbed and cold like ice. And it stayed that way for 3 days until my mother, a prayer warrior, called me, crying and begging me to go and do whatever they asked, because she said, okay, the village is not just a place. It is a living thing that remembers what we owe. Against my better judgment, I packed a small bag, telling myself I'd be in and out in 48 hours. But I didn't know that once the village decides to eat you, it doesn't matter how fast your car is. Because as I drove past the Welcome to Anambra sign, the air changed and became heavy, smelling of damp earth and old rot, while my GPS started spinning in circles, and the sun, which was bright a minute ago, suddenly hid behind clouds that looked like bruises as I passed a woman carrying firewood on her head, who didn't even have eyes, just smooth skin where her sockets should be. And when I blinked, she was gone, and my heart began to drum a rhythm I didn't recognize, and I should have turned back then, but the pride of a city man is a trap set by the devil himself. I arrived at my father's compound just as the sun was bleeding into the horizon, and the silence was absolute, with no birds and no insects, just the sound of my own breath, while my Uncle Iche waited at the gate with skin looking like parchment paper stretched over his skull. And he didn't even hug me, but just stared at my shadow and whispered that I brought it with me. And when I asked what he meant, he only turned and walked toward the ancient Iroko tree at the back of the house. That night, the house felt alive, and every floorboard I stepped on sounded like a bone snapping as I lay in my childhood bedroom and heard a soft, rhythmic scratching on the window. Screech, screech, screech. And I turned on my flashlight, and for a split second, I saw a face that wasn't human, but a mask of my own face with eyes that were yellow and full of 1,000 years of hatred. And I jumped up, but the door wouldn't open as the room grew freezing cold, and I could smell the scent of my late grandfather's tobacco, even though he had been dead for 20 years. A voice, tiny and sharp like a needle, whispered right into my ear that the death is ripe.